So I just wanted to start this with um, Savana Hernandez. I think that's her name. Sometimes it's like, anyways, yes, Savana Hernandez um, getting attacked here. We all heard the story, of course. I just want to go through it. I don't like this video. I really don't. But I'm just gonna go through it real quickly here, just to because this chick here on the right, she's basically melting down over the whole thing. She's saying, I was attacked and whatever, and I just want to sort of throw in my opinions on this. And honestly, it's not really opinions. It's actually based on actual facts on what actually happened because you can see it on the videos. So now I don't know what led up to this. So a lot of times what leads up to things is definitely an important context. But I do know that what this chick on the right is saying is that I was attacked and I was just defending myself and blah 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 is a bunch of BS. It's just absolute. You know, the human brain does weird things when things happen. Especially in traumatic, potentially traumatic, or very high stress situations like this. I remember when I was in an accident a couple of years ago, and it's weird how my brain just kind of blacked out at certain points in the accident. It wasn't a big accident, but like I just genuinely couldn't remember if I was like what lane I was in at the point of the accident. I just was like, and normally because it's a road I travel every single day. It's a route I go every single day. And I just could not, for the life of me, when they were asking me, I was like, I really don't remember, man. I don't, man. It's just interesting to think about how the human brain works and how it interprets things under stress. So I say all that because I think this chick on the right, I think she genuinely like the human brain plays tricks on itself. It rationalizes things. It tries to just try to reason through things that the reason why, because nobody likes to think that they're the bad guy. We always want to believe that we did everything right. And so, but the reality of the situation always tells different stories. So she says she was defending herself. She says she was protecting herself. But the simple fact is that is not what happened. Okay, whatever she wants to say, she got arrested for assault, and it is on video. It's pure fact that she assaulted Savannah. So I just want to kind of play this and show you exactly the proof of this. So here you have her. By the way, I'm turning the volume down a little bit because she's whistling. So here she is, just whistling. All right. So immediately right here at this point, she's committing assault. That's assault. The reason why, so what's the definition of assault? Assault is basically bringing bodily harm upon somebody. Okay. Now she's not, well, she's they're kind of touching a little bit, looks like, but you might say, well, why? How is that? How is this bodily? Because she's blowing a whistle into Savannah's ear that can damage her hearing. That is assault. You can get arrested for that. So apparently, this idiot right here doesn't understand that, which most of these people don't. They don't actually understand what laws are. But here's what she's doing. So she's whistling in her face. Here's what they do. Here's what the left does because their ultimate card is the victim card. They want to play victim. They so what they do is they provoke you, and they will provoke you and they'll provoke you and they'll provoke you because they're a bunch. They're all an emotional mess. They're online chronically. They need to get off the internet for a while because this is what happens to you when you're constantly on the internet. But you need if you get off the internet for a while, you just chill, man. Just stay off the internet for a couple months. When I say that, I mean like social media. I mean, obviously, we all need the internet some way. We got to check our emails and whatever. But yeah, you know what I mean. But staying on social media constantly, man, doesn't matter which side, it's the left and the right, man. It creates so much anxiety. I mean, I'm sure if I look this up, I'm gonna find tons of science behind this, and it leads to this kind of behavior. So, but they want to provoke her, so that when Savannah eventually, which she's gonna do, because she has at this point, I want to say this at this point, right now, Savannah has every right to deck that chick right in the chin. Just whack her right on the button. It's wide out in the open. All she has to do is just swing around. She's her, of course, her hands got her phone, so she can't do it. I guess he can, but all she's got to do is come around, bam, that chick's going out, lights out, right there. Because I mean, her chin is right there. It's exposed. It's just easy shot. But she has every right to hit her right in the face. Now, is that a good idea at this point? Probably not, because then what you're going to see is, of course, the mob's going to jump her because that's what they want. They want her to attack because then they can start trying to frame their narrative of, see, she attacked me. They want to try and say, well, I never touched you. I was just blowing a whistle in your face, in your ear, and blowing out your eardrum and damaging your hearing, which is technically assault, but I wasn't actually hurting you. That's what they want to do. But anyways, so that's what she's going to use. She's going to use that as her justification. Say, see, I was attacked. She hit me first. The simple fact is Savannah was defending herself. All right, so you saw right there. You see, she's actually now at this point. Look at that. She's right in Savannah. She's just pushing into her. She's just pushing into her now. She is absolutely committing assault. That is assault. Okay. She deserves everything that she's got coming to her. She was on, I saw a post from her. She's all crying. By the way, if you're being charged for something, and you're, especially when it's public like this, um, your lawyer, if she has a lawyer, would probably be telling you don't make videos on social media because it's going to make your case a little bit worse. Okay, it's going to be harder and harder to defend you. So shut up, stop, just stay off social media. Get off social media. That's a great idea. Get off the socials. So this is where it all hell breaks loose. And so now, see, now she's according to that chick, she's got her right now to attack Savannah because she just poked her enough. It is the same stuff as siblings when they fight. Okay, it's childish. It's when they just kind of like they just nudge enough, and the other kid starts fighting back, and now they get into it. I did this with my siblings, my brother, mostly not my sister, but my brother. I would provoke him, and then he'd hit me, and I'd be like, "What the hell, man?" And I would just start, we'd go at it. It wasn't like super violent, but we would. My brother and we got some good shots in on each other when we were kids. But anyways, so now she thinks she can attack her now. So this chick committed assault. She assaulted Savannah. Now her dad's gonna come in and he thinks that he's protecting his daughter. He thinks that he's protecting his daughter. Of course, it's easy, he's got a bias, okay? It's called a conflict of interest. So he's only going to look at things from the perspective of his daughter. In one sense, you can almost admire that. That's what a father should do. Unless, of course, your daughter is being a total jerk, okay? There's other words I could use, but I don't want to use those words here. So, but that's when he's going to come in and thinks he's a man because he just shoved a little girl. I don't say little, but she's you know, women are typically smaller, just shoves Savannah. Okay. And, that thinks he's manly for that, which by the way, I mean, that could seriously cause harm, shoving somebody in the back like that. I mean, you could see Savannah, her neck jolts back. That's clearly, I mean, she already said, I saw her that she said that, I woke up today with my neck stiff or hurting. Yeah. Cause that's called whiplash. That could really damage your neck. And that's happened to me before. It's not fun. But it's absolutely assault. His daughter was not being attacked. Savannah was defending herself. And if you're going to be an honest person, you have to look at that and go, and look at your daughter and go, why did you do that? Why just, she was leaving. Just leave, let her leave. Just go, just let her leave. But, these people, they're all just emotional. They're not thinking straight. It's just, the logic goes out the window. That's all it really is, especially if you're a woman. like this chick. You know, she's just a woman. You know, and typically when women get like this, I mean, there is no rational thinking whatsoever. It's just gone. It is pure emotion. So so that's the mom right there. So the mom comes in, you hit my daughter, you hit my. So probably what the daughter is doing right now. So somebody probably restrained the daughter. I haven't seen all the other footage, but somebody's probably restrained the daughter now. And so the mom and the dad are there. So she's probably telling her mom her side of the story. She's telling her mom, she hit me, she hit me, she hit me. And that's the only side of the story the mom gets. So instead of going, okay, let's figure this out, let's try to understand what's going on here. She just jumps in and goes, I'm gonna hit this chick because she hit my daughter, and the father's gonna come in. So right now, Savannah, she's holding her own really well, but you can tell in that facial expression right there, she's very shaken up. Like she is very shaken up about this. As anybody should be. You should be really frightened at this point, especially if you're a woman. This when you are a woman, you women have this sort of like instinct of self-preservation about them because women know that they are weaker physically. So they have it's like they kind of have this sort of additional sense about them where they can kind of sense like if somebody's going to be if they're in danger sort of thing, like, and this that kind of instinct, and so that's normal, but it's not even just a woman thing here. But even if I was here at this situation, I might be a little bit afraid. But men and women typically will handle these a little bit differently. I'm not trying to say she's handling this bad. She's handling this really, really well. But it is worth noting that as tough as she is, you can see a little bit of just kind of a little bit very high stress. Adrenaline's running right now, and she's going to get one more good hit. So that's the father shoving her. So that's the dad right there. Thinks he's a man. He's just a big old freaking fat loser. That's all he is. And this freaking idiot right here thinks she's trying to play the victim card. She was just attacked. In this Fruit Loop right here is like, why are you playing the victim card? I mean, it's incredible, these people, and he didn't really do much to help her at all. Just none of these guys did. They did restrain the dad, but it's at that point like it escalated beyond what it needed to go beyond. So I'm not going to play any more of this. I think we've already played enough. But these people have been charged. Good. They need to be charged, and there you go. So yeah, that's the left for you. All right. So what I want to do really quickly here is we don't need to see that anymore. So I want to get to the China thing. Okay, or not the China thing, but the Iranian thing. Okay, first of all, let me just show you here really quickly. Here's a screenshot I took the other day of this. You should probably be aware of this by now. These are tankers that I took the screenshot yesterday while at church. Well, not at church, but I was going to church, and but these were all tankers flooding into Texas, which is, this is about 100 or so miles from where I live right now. But yeah, so these are all flooding into Texas. These are all tankers from various different countries all over the world. Everybody's coming to Texas to get their oil right now. Now, that something we have to understand about that, because we might think, well, shouldn't that mean gas prices should come down? There's not exactly, okay. So the situation is still fairly fragile. But what this is doing, however, So the refineries are working at like 95% capacity. The last I checked, here right here in Texas, they are getting they're I mean the cash is flowing in. So while the gas prices aren't coming down right now, and that has a lot to do with that doesn't have to do with the oil in and of itself. That has to do with local pricing and local economies and stuff like that. There's a lot to it, okay? And I just don't have the time to get into it right now. That's not the point of this video. The point I want to try and make here is there isn't a massive inflow of money, nevertheless. And if we give it time, that could actually be really good for the United States. Okay, very good for the United States, but it's going to take time for that to work. Okay, the thing is, we have to be patient. Now, I get it. I like. I still want the Iranian thing. I want this to end. I want it to end just like anybody else. Okay. It seems like we don't really know exactly when it's going to end. This could go on into summer, unfortunately, and that's not good. That isn't good at all, especially because I'm going to be traveling here in a couple months, driving, and so I'm definitely going to have to get in a very economic car for the traveling. Definitely not my truck. So that's going to be a bit of a difficulty, a struggle, but I genuinely believe that we have, as the United States, for decades, longer than most you and me have even been alive, have been screwed over by bad policies for decades. I think Trump is trying to correct a lot of that stuff. And unfortunately, to do that, it's going to hurt. Many ways like sanctification, but it's going to hurt. But I think if we stick it out and if we're careful and we do well with we manage our money well, we can navigate this. Honestly, actually, believe it or not, the United States is actually faring very well with this whole thing. I mean, Europe right now is dealing with an average of I think last time I checked like $6 an average. That's well above the average in the United States, and it's because we make our own oil. Now, there's other good news on the horizon. Again, this stuff isn't going to be immediate, but here's this. I just saw this today. Delcy Rodriguez announces new agreements with Chevron to increase oil production. So Delcy Rodriguez is the new president in charge of Venezuela. So we just got rid of Maduro. Remember, and now we have somebody in there who's playing ball with the United States. So Delcy Rodriguez has announced an agreement to increase Chevron's oil production. With these announcements, Chevron, one of the largest energy companies in the United States and the world, consolidates itself as the main investor in Venezuelan oil operations. This agreement will allow us to make important advances in production and that the revenues derived from that production go directly to the benefit of, and, well, probably the United States. So, we don't even really need to click into it. We know, okay, we know. So that's good news. That's good. Now, of course, that's going to take time. This stuff doesn't just pop up out of the ground. It's going to take many years for this to get on track. However, the simple fact that we have this whole thing right along with a legitimate shakeup of the global order right now, which that always causes pain, that always causes struggle. So that's not unusual. But if we see through this to the end, and we can come out on the other side with the United States on top, and something amazing could come of it, something truly, truly amazing. But the thing is we need Americans right now to stop being so consumed with immediate results. We are right now inundated with a culture that is a now, 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 I want it right now kind of thing like that. And to get the where we want to be, it's going to hurt. It's going to take time. Trump already told us this. He already warned people about this. It's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. But I trust that he's going to do the right thing and that he knows what he's doing. Now, I want to go to this because look, I just have to keep beating this dead horse. I know people hate when I say this. I know certain people who don't like that I say this. But I've been saying this since this whole thing began. Two things. It's about this war is about oil. It's about China. That's just I don't know how else to make that clear to you. I don't know how else. Like this is not about Israel. Okay, it has nothing to do with protecting Epstein's client lists. All these stupid conspiracy theories that are idiotic. They're so conspiracy theories are so easy. You know, I'm contemplating posting an article that I wrote a little while ago, or last this weekend, and just my whole position on all of this stuff. And in it, I'm talking about how dumb conspiracy theories are, and how easy they are. I can actually just go ahead and pull it up for you here real quickly. Here, like this, the section on the conspiracy theories. This right here, I haven't, again, like I said, I haven't published it yet. I'll go to the section where conspiracy theories are easy. I'll just read this to you. While silly American influencers are sitting around complaining about matters that concern only their immediate wants and desires, Trump is seeing a far bigger picture. As I said, Americans are insulated from the troubles of the world. They don't go to the mall and buy a surplus of things and think about where they come from. They're on their phones, not realizing the place that makes those phones possible is in constant jeopardy of being lost. Checking Instagram and TikTok, shrinking their own attention capacity and thereby their ability to reflect deeply and carefully on things, thinking they know what's going on. And instead of doing real work and trying to understand things, they instead take to conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories are easy, my friends. Let's just be honest, because as intriguing as they may be, and I certainly have a fair share of conspiracy theories I indulge in the end, by definition, they don't have crucial connecting factors between cause and effect. By this I mean, when you are investigating something, event Y, you must determine cause X. If you have a clear, undisputed X, we go beyond theories to factual reality. But when you don't have cause X, but rather some ancillary factors about event Y, you now have theories to explain Y. I need to put in to explain Y through a cause or cause X, which is okay. But anyways, to explain cause X. Conspiracy theories flourish in the intrigue of finding X. They find their strength in the obscurity. And I think sometimes we don't want that obscurity to be truly answered because the fog is easier than trying to make sense of real data because we don't have time to sift through the data. We have Instagram posts to swipe through. What also makes them easier is how unfalsifiable they are. When we put all our eggs into conspiracy theories like Candace Owens' kooky stuff, we have also accepted the principle that lack of evidence only proves the conspiracy theory. If we can't get to the evidence, it only supports the idea that it's being hidden. Hence, anyone who pushes back against us is refusing to see the truth, or is in on the cover-up. Conspiracy theories have a subtle way about them that make us turn the standard mode of investigation inside out and convince us that the lizard men are out to get us. Conspiracy theories can be fun, I guess. I personally am more interested in getting to the truth, as in actually getting to it. This involves not taking seriously speculative claims that simply have no verifiable proof to them. They only have ancillary factors here and there that could certainly support the conspiracy theory, but it could also just be something else, and something else that best explains the data. Occam's razor saves us a lot of trouble. So, back to the China thing. Basically, all that to say, the idea that this is about Israel and Israel's taking over the world. There's just no substantial evidence by like to that at all. There's just none. Okay. Again, you guys say, well, there's this. Look at this over here. There's this thing. I that's why I'm telling you. That's ancillary stuff. That's stuff that's just like okay, that can support the conspiracy theory if you have stronger evidence. That's what's called correlation. But correlation does not equal causation. Correlation to the conspiracy theory does not automatically mean that doesn't also correlate to another explanation. That is honestly much, much better. Have you thought that it could be that the reason why this happened may not be because of the Jews, but it could also just be this. It could also just be just a complete coincidence. How can you genuinely tell that, like Tucker keeps talking about, he keeps saying, he keeps insisting, the United States is held hostage to Israel. And I'm like, where in the hell is your proof? There is no proof. Tucker has taken a few, again, ancillary things, just things like, Israel pouring money into the United States, lobbies, and us funding or giving a lot of money to Israel, which again I'm not totally on board with, and goes, see, that means we work for Israel and they control us. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. We give a lot of money to other countries, and they give a lot of money to us. So, and again, I keep thinking like, hey, if Israel and the Jews are controlling the world, like, presumably NATO and the Europe, they've got all that stuff. Yet NATO doesn't come to help us. Why? What's going on with that one? How explain that one to me? Explain how Israel is not pleased with the ceasefire. So it's very clear that Trump is not acting on behalf of Israel. To me, it seems very, very clear to me. This is about China. So you have here China urges restraint over U.S. blockade of Strait of Hormuz, and they back talks. So they want talks to happen. Now, why would China be so concerned with this? I found an article. I watched a video today, but I can't find it right now. I can find the video, but I don't want to play the video. But basically, China, I mean, its imports for energy come from Iran, and we've just closed off access to the Iranian ports. From what I can tell, the blockade is not completely blockading the strait. It's blockading any access to Iran's ports. That's what it's basically blockading. So that is a massive amount of China's needed energy has been completely cut off. And so China right now is trying to say, look, Iran, you've got to talk, man, because we need that energy. That's why China is urging restraint. They're urging restraint for a couple. The fact that they're urging restraint is telling you and I two things. First, clearly they need oil. They don't want to be embarrassed and have to come to the United States to get it. They need that oil because if they don't have it, it's bad for them. Very bad. The lights go out essentially. And number two, what that it's proving is China is begging. And that is proving that China cannot actually do anything about it. They have to hope that diplomacy wins out in the end, because if it does win out in the end, they're screwed. That is telling me that sends a signal, at least to me, they don't have any military way to stop this. So when you ever see Tucker Carlson doom posting about China is going to declare war on us as a result of this, and it's going to be bad, I don't think that's going to happen, because I think China would have done something very, very provocative already. But they're not in a position to do that. They're not holding the cards. Trump is. So again, you read stuff like this. More and more stuff is coming out about the oil market. All these tankers coming to the United States now. We just took out Venezuela's old leader, Maduro. All this stuff. These things, see again, these are all also ancillary things, like I told you about the Israel conspiracy theory. But these ancillary things are so much more wide out in the open, and they're so clearly point to something else. They completely point to a different idea of something else going on. So, with that being said, I feel like I just did everything I needed to say. I got that done a little bit faster than I wanted to. But look, I'm just telling you, I just gotta say, I know some people hate when I say this. Look, you can say it's if you want to make an argument, you can, like a legitimate argument, you can say, well, this is about China, but it's not a good strategy for Trump because it's not going to be winning in the end. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that you can, I'm perfectly fine with that. But when you start sitting there telling me this is all about Israel and this is about the Antichrist and blah, 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 I just sit there and I'm just like, you just don't get it, dude. Like this just there's just nothing to that really. It's really nothing to that. Let's get serious. Come on, let's be serious here. Stop with the conspiracy theories. Take the tinfoil hat off. Actually get serious. Um, so, with that being said, and I've been saying this. Look, I've been saying this since the beginning. I'm telling you, and it's becoming more and more and more clear that I was right. This is about oil. This is about China. Always has been, always will be. Okay. For the United States, that's what it's all about. Israel, maybe, they got their own goals, their own interests, but for the United States, that's what this is about. That's what Trump cares about. So that just proves that Trump is, in fact, America first. You can disagree with the way he's going about America first, but he is absolutely America first. That cannot be put in dispute. So, that being said, I will talk to you all later. Bye.